Hi there, I'm Sudhi Acharya and this is Pratima. We are customers of Asbury Remodeling. We met with Asbury and several other contractors several weeks ago when we decided to get a big remodeling project done in the house. We had a couple of additions that we wanted to make, as well as some changes around the house to the way things were set up. And we had a couple of different options. We decided we had looked for a new house in the area. And we had liked some things we had seen, but we really loved this neighborhood. We didn't want to move out. And so we then started talking to Daymon and Miriam and some other contractors. We were impressed with Daymon immediately when we first met him when he came over for the estimates. He was the only one that asked me several questions during the initial visit and the subsequent visits when he and Miriam came over. And they had a detailed list of questions. They asked me about all of the changes that we wanted to make. And after that, they sent us PDFs, I think it was, with preliminary estimates that gave us a very good idea of what we could expect as far as, what kind of cost this would entail. Yep, they were very detailed as compared to some of the other contractors who really, they were verbal estimates without any detail. They didn't take much detail from me either, so that didn't really give me a high level of confidence. And so, they were all comparable estimates, but just based on the amount of detail that Daymon gave us, we decided to go with them, without really a second thought.
And I think it was mostly because the remodeling project is, we knew exactly what we wanted. We've lived in this house for over 11 years and we knew what changes we needed and we were looking for if we were going to buy a new home, and those details were very important to us and nobody else asked us for those details. They simply looked at the bigger picture of, okay, do you want a sunroom, do you want an island, and just the verbal things, but then the details of where everything has to go and what needs to get done was not discussed at all, and so that was very important for us.
And then the other big factor for me was I telecommute, I work from home pretty much every day of the week. So I was really apprehensive before this whole project started. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to continue working from home while they were in the house, because this was a substantial amount of remodeling we had done. But as Daymon assured me, they had done this before, and it really wouldn't affect my daily activities. So I was able to continue working without any issues. The crew was extremely efficient. We were really pleased with the crew that Daymon has. He's got several subcontractors he works with, but also his own crew that he brings in. They were amazing, and they did a wonderful job working around my schedule, making sure it didn't really interrupt the flow for me. So that went off much better than I expected.
Yeah, and I don't think you can find anybody as nitpicky as me when it comes to details, and so they all worked with me. I'm a stickler for details, and they simply really worked with me. They laughed it off. They stood there. They worked with me. They said, okay, here, there, we tried different things, experimented with colors on the walls, and one day I would like the color on the wall, and then I wanted it changed after 2 or 3 days. And so, for example, I was very picky about colors, and I was trying to experiment them, and who doesn't, it looks different in the morning, different in the evening by different lights. So I picked certain colors for the walls, and especially the accent walls, and decided that 3 days later that I really didn't like them. And they just really worked with us and made sure that we got whatever we wanted in the house. And along the way, there was a lot of good advice and consultation as to how we would do all the molding, the columns, the pillars, the colors. And so it was almost like brainstorming with Daymon and Miriam, rather than simply Sudhi and I working it all out, thinking that we know everything. So we based it off of their experience and what we wanted, and I think it looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. The end result is phenomenal. We're really enjoying the place. Our project involved multiple phases. We actually had over 7 or 8 different phases that had to get done, including the main additions to the house. We had a screened-in porch originally that got converted to a sunroom, as well as a 2-story family room here that became, we had a loft installed on the 2nd floor, and both of those phases got done, as well as all these other phases that we had. And it was incredible working with Daymon and Miriam through all those phases, because we originally had a vision, and there were so many other things that they suggested to us during execution of the project that it was really helpful to us to be able to get all of those implemented.
Right, and so, for example, we thought that the sunroom could be just a plain old sunroom, but then they went in with more details and gave us a raised ceiling, beadboards, and things that coordinated so well, so it turned out so much better than what we thought we were asking for.
Right.
It turned out so much better than our expectations. So that's the key there, and it did not increase our budget by any means, but it simply worked. They worked with what we had, but they suggested and recommended things that made it come out looking way beautiful than what we had imagined it to be.
Right, and also all of the suppliers they used, we were amazed that they were able to find the cabinets that we actually had originally in the house. They were able to locate the same
design of the cabinet.
Right, so everything just flows beautifully together now.
Yeah, and so it's beyond our expectations right now, and we're really enjoying this, and we really thank them for what they've done for us.
Absolutely, we're loving it, guys.